cats in town. They've been together for only a year, and having worked with them this week, I can tell you they've learned. And if I have anything to do with it, this will be the last time that you're here.
instead we have the extra color of the bass trombone instead of a tuba. So Susan is our bass trombonist. We have some fans of bass trombone in the crowd today. And so we've become this full house brass quintet, thinking we have 2 trombones and 3 treble instruments. Or maybe just 2 bass and 3 treble. Doesn't work with the 4 women and the 1 man. But we actually just like playing for a full house, so that works for us too. Our next couple of pieces are the Scherzo by John Cheadle, written in 1966. Scherzo means joke. It's kind of a light-hearted piece, but it sounds kind of to us a bit like the Wild West cowboy theme sometimes. So I don't know what it'll sound like to you. And then the next piece, Dave Brubeck, the American jazz pianist, wrote Spring in Central Park. And who knew that today would be like it is for us to play that? So imagine yourselves in Central Park. Anyway, it just sounds like regular music, so don't worry too much about that. What I do want you to know is it's written by Giovanni Gabrielli, who worked in Venice at St. Mark's Basilica. Big cathedral, lots of gold mosaics to show the splendor of Venice and how rich that city was. They were so rich they had 2 choir lofts on either side of the church, both with organs, and they would put musicians in both sides, and then all of their guests, their invited dignitaries, and everyone from other towns and cities would get to hear stereophonic effects. It was all about the grandeur of Venice and imitation and echoing and contrast back and forth. Now's a good time to introduce the group. You figured out who Dave is. And I'm Deb, and Carolyn is playing trombone, Randy on horn, and Susan on bass trombone, and so I can sort of is a march made famous by the Monty Python troupe. So hope you enjoy this. feel free to take a business card with you or share it with a friend or neighbor. We're so pleased that you came to see us today. We'll finish off with a piece that you'll know the melody for sure. It features Dave on trumpet over here. It's a bit of a gospel number.